What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the 3 Idiots Talking Podcast. We are here with another paid album request. Thank you so much to AT Field. He gave us 3 paid album requests, and we are finally getting through the third one. Luckily, as you guys can see on your screen, we get a banger to end with. Hopefully a banger. I've actually never heard it, but these two have. Hopefully we'll have a banger to end with called Close to the Edge by the band Yes. This band and this album, well, mainly this band, I have never heard. I have heard one single song by them, a very popular song called Roundabout. Outside of that, I have not heard anything by them at all. So this will be my very first time listening. But these two up here have heard Close to the Edge. And I'm going to ask these guys to give a quick little, I guess, summary description, whatever you guys want. And I'm going to throw up the album vinyl cover. Vinyl, not cover. What would you call it, Cole? The spread.
Gatefold.
The fold of the
gatefold.
The gatefold. And Noah, I think you got something to show to people, right?
Oh yeah, I got the.
We got the vinyl himself. There it is, right there. All right, so break us down. What is Close to the Edge? Who are Yes? Who wants to go for it?
I guess I'll go for it.
Go for it.
Oh,
Yes, it's John Anderson on vocals, Bill Bruford on the drums, Steve Howe on guitar, Chris Squire on bass, and Rick Wakeman on keyboards. Yes, started in the early 60s with some pretty crazy prog. They were definitely one of the first groups to ever really dive into prog rock. And they really went off the edge with this one. I'm sorry, Cole.
Okay.
That
was a little funny.
Yeah, this is one of the most out there albums for the time. It's pretty crazy. Incredibly influential album to prog rock. One of the most important prog rock albums ever.
Now, Cole, you said before we started something very interesting. What'd you call this album from a prog rock perspective? What'd you say?
A seminal album.
Seminal prog rock album. So I, being a prog rock, I guess you could call me noob for the most part, really only hearing Floyd and maybe a couple other albums here and there. Is this something you would tell a new person, relatively new person to prog rock, that they have to listen to in order to understand what this genre is?
Asking the wrong person.
To understand what the genre is, sure.
Okay. But you don't think
if I was giving out a prog starter pack, which I would never do, but if I were, this would definitely be in it.
Okay.
This is probably, if you
Good.
asked most like prog fans, this album would be on like the Mount Rushmore of prog albums.
Mount Rushmore of prog.
If you could only go with like one per artist.
Wow. Okay. Damn. So, I mean, I know some people want us to give a little bit of backstory on some of these albums. So real quick, because this is on Wikipedia, I can give a little bit of information. Noah, you already named most of the band members. I don't think you named Trevor Rabin or Rabin. I don't know how to say his last name. Who's a guitarist. And then
he might be somebody who joined the band afterwards.
I don't know if he was there when they made Close to the Edge.
So I was reading right off the album.
Okay, again, he might have been there before, he might have been there after. I just want to name all the band members. They also had somebody named Alan White, and they had 3 keyboardists: Tony Kaye, Rick Wakeman, and Patrick Moraz. And they were formed in London in '68. Again, so many British rock bands that came out in just the '60s, and just that era, Britain rock was just such a crazy influential time period for music as a whole, when you look back at it. But okay, so you mentioned, I mean, it's the 5th studio album by them, and it looks like it originally came out in the UK in September '72. And it was their last album to feature their original drummer, Bill Bruford, who found the album particularly laborious to make and felt unable to contribute better ideas, which then proceeded to influence his decision to join King Crimson, which I did not know. This was the future King Crimson drummer. That is kind of cool to know. Okay. So this is not their first big critical hit, though. Fragile was also a big critical album for them, so very interesting. It's only 3 songs long. It's very short song wise, and there's the inside the vinyl sheet. As you can see, it's very pretty to look at. But enough of that. We have Close to the Edge, 3 songs long, 72, only 37 minutes, so not super long, but the songs are, we got 18 minute, 10 minute, nearly 9 minute. I'm getting a phone call. I apologize. Let me just put that on mute, and that didn't matter anyway. Anything else we should know?
Well, I got a little fun fact.
Yeah, hit me with it.
King Crimson and Yes are a little like they're even more intertwined.
Oh,
In 1971, John Anderson did vocals on a King Crimson album.
really?
Mm-hmm. They've been intertwined for a while now.
Which King Crimson album was it?
The album called Lizard. He did
Lizard.
vocals on a 20-something minute song.
Wow.
Pretty good song.
I have not heard that album, but that would be interesting to hear, especially after we hear this. All right, cool. Well, before we get started, I just want to see what chat was saying about the band before. First time I saw the album cover, I wondered what the music was. I wouldn't call this part of a starter pack, but it's definitely a prog masterpiece. Starter pack would be the Yes album. I'm assuming that's like their debut album. John Anderson's voice. Trevor joined the 80s. Lots of bands are connected to Yes. I mean, they seem to have a lot of band members, so that doesn't surprise me. But all right. Don't attempt to decipher the lyrics. I have a hard time deciphering any prog rock lyrics. Usually there's not many to decipher, though. All right. Well, we ready to start, boys?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. Close to the Edge by Yes, starting with Close to the Edge. I guess this is divided into parts? I don't know. Title track, I guess. Is it playing for you guys?
Yeah.
All right. I know sometimes when we take too long to start a song in the jam ends. What is all these titles? We got are these divided into parts, I assume?
Yeah. But I think we should just run through the whole thing.
Well, all right. Fuck it. Whole thing. Unless YouTube says otherwise. Prog doesn't need to be long to be prog. Oh, I know. It just happens to be that some of the biggest prog albums are some of the longest songs.
No.
Wow. You know, prog always does this. There's always a point in any prog album where you have like multiple melodies happening at the same time.
We'll simmer out. It's gonna simmer out. You know what that?
It's a masterpiece song, but a lot to take in for a newbie. All right. I like the drums already.
Gilbert's a really good drummer.
Oh.
That's pretty.
I'm interested to hear Cole's opinion on this album, because I know he's not a huge prog rock fan. And from what I'm seeing in chat, the poll's looking like this should be a quintessential prog rock band, so...
I might be the biggest prog guy out of the three of us.
Yeah, I think that's pretty locked in. Oh. Cole and Noah have. I have not. Mark. this is a nice melody right here. Wow. I'm not going to say that out loud, but wow.
Cole is less into Prog and more into pegging.
Why would you say that out loud?
How did you know?
Hey, you know what? I think I have a better pull to put up real quick.
Yeah, do you, Cole? Come on.
What a change up on the...
Bit too far.
Yeah, a little too far for my taste there, that pull. That melody's so good.
Oh, they are changing their melodies so often.
Everybody really different kinds of jams. Really cool.
Bass sliding.
James Diamond is finally a fan of something we're playing. Oh.
That's such a fat bass tone for the time.
I can totally hear Roundabout in this right now. Same type of groove that Roundabout had.
Shouldn't take away the startled memory. All in all, the journey takes you all the way. As apart from any reality that you ever seen and known. Guessing problems only to deceive the nation. Passing past the climb halfway into the void. As we cross from side to side, we hear the total mass retain. Down at the edge, round by the corner. Close to the end, down by the river. Seasons will pass you by. Get up, get down.
Mark Rayner had a crazy opinion. He said, in terms of discography, Yes had the strongest from 71 to 77. Interesting take.
I'm gonna have to decline.
Absolutely.
Taking Pink Floyd.
Have any of you listened to Tales from Topographic Oceans?
Yeah.
I have not, sir, but Cole seems to have.
That's a Yes album.
Ah.
Not really impressed.
This must be part 2. This was the Intellectuals band for sure. Are they saying a lot of intellectual things? I've been reading the lyrics.
Sure, Cole loved that comment. calling a prog band an intellectuals band.
Oh, jeez.
Led Zeppelin what, DHD? You just wrote Led Zeppelin with question marks.
Do you mean, like, are you asking why didn't we say Led Zeppelin had the best run?
Nope.
Led Zeppelin's not a prog band.
Well, he said the best band from any, in terms of any discography.
Best run of all time.
Yeah, correct. He
Oh.
wasn't limited to Prog.
I'm not saying Zeppelin because In Through the Outdoor is too inconsistent.
Well-
Same with Presence.
This is peaceful.
Still good albums.
I mean, Pink Floyd from 71 to 77 is probably a little bit better than Zeppelin from 71 to 77.
Certainly more consistent, but Zeppelin did have some higher highs at some points, I will say. Thank you, ICRU. I agree.
Damn. All right, ladies. No fighting in the comments.
We're not gonna. I mean, we're not gonna fight about it.
Guma Guma exists. The final cut.
I'm taking the highs. I'm taking the highs.
Highs are just as good.
Ladies.
Let's not get into it. We probably had this fight probably over 100 times.
You know what? One day we'll make an entire video where you two can disclose your personal arguments and let the chat decide.
The ultimate nothing burger video, because it's gonna get nowhere.
Yep.
No, that's why the chat gets to decide who had the better argument. 200 women watch one woman cry. Intellectual lyrics right here.
Hell yeah, we get up, we get down.
The lyrics for this song are inspired by a novel about Buddha.
This is such a whimsical album.
It's a whimsical song right here, at least. I wouldn't call the rest of it whimsical. I love the way he's singing. I don't love the background vocals though.
Not all my favorite bands have come out of the UK.
Yeah,
Godspeed You Black Emperor, they're Canadian.
yeah. White Stripes isn't British.
I'll say most of them are British.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
I was responding to what you were responding to. I mean, fucking Godspeed, Fleet Foxes, Death Grips, White Stripes,
Nirvana,
Velvet Underground.
Black Keys.
Steely Dan for me. I'll say for me.
I don't know where Talking Heads are from.
This is an amazing organ.
The Stooges. Well, actually, I don't know about the Stooges.
I'll say this is another band that is like in contention for like most talented band ever assembled.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Miles Davis. I mean, if you're just talking about bands.
Rick Wakeman's like a top 10 keyboard player. Chris Squire's arguably a top 10 bass player. Steve Howe's extremely good guitar
Oh my
player.
god, this organ is just
Bill Bruford, top
massive.
20 drummer.
It sounds like it's in a cathedral. This is huge. So real, Imagine Dragons.
The organ just stops. I'm waking up.
I'm waking up.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Certainly a product of its time.
What the fuck? That was awesome. That
I love that
last part
abrupt
was
transition.
awesome. Wow. Well, that last part was like a 10.
Rick Wakeman had the best capes. That motherfucker would wear a cape on stage. That was kind of awesome, not gonna lie.
This is part 4 already. Oh wow, we already had that song. What is that farting bass line?
He's chugging. Real quick.
All right, chat. On a pure talent perspective, pure band member talent perspective, yes or Rush?
I'm gonna say Rush. Getty Lee's like a top 5 bassist.
Oh,
In my
yeah,
eyes,
let's
Hugh
go.
Hurt's the best drummer. And outside, he's like a top 50 guitarist.
Oh, this keyboard is popping off. Or sent. I thought it sounds like a keyboard.
God, he's such a crazy keyboard player.
Oh, Lord. A lot of repeated notes, but he is going up and down that fucking keyboard. Wow.
Time between the notes relates the color to the scenes. A constant bond of triumphs dislocate man, so it seems. And space between the focus shape, I send knowledge of love. A song and chant develop.
We have not done YYZ Live in Rio, though I have seen that video. And that's in my Rush phase. Years ago.
That drummer, bro.
Yeah, sure. He's on Red. I know you like that one. Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's the one who went to King Crimson, right?
Yep.
No wonder I think that's the best album. Well, of the 2 I've heard.
I can't. I go back and forth between it all the time.
I am trying so hard to understand these lyrics, and I am so lost.
So happy I'm not a lyric person.
It's so annoying.
I can just
'Cause
vibe.
I'm reading this and I'm like, where are we going with this? Oh, yeah. In the court and red, people. And you can thank these two for that. 'Cause they basically forced me to.
Yeah, we are the first people to discover King Crimson. Be thankful.
I heard one
What?
new King Crimson song and I was like, I want to hear more. And they told me to listen to those 2 albums.
I ain't gonna lie. First time I heard of King Crimson was from an anime. I ain't gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. A lot of anime references. Rock references.
Rule 1, never try to understand a John Anderson lyric. He writes lyrics for their sound more than their actual meaning. I was about to say, there's got to be, either I'm like just having a rough day of reading lyrics, or there is just no sense to these at all.
Tough day reading.
I mean, sometimes lyrics just don't connect when they should. I'll admit it. Heard of XYZ? Noah has, I have not.
XYZ.
Or I thought he was talking about XYZ Rio. Oh, maybe he's talking about YYZ Rio. I don't know.
XYZ, that ring. Ah.
I don't know what that is. So yeah, first ever Yes song I've heard outside of Roundabout. A little different than Roundabout, just a tad. Wow, multiple parts. The first half was a lot of different grooves, a lot of different melodies. I think I'm using the right term there, Cole. Am I using the right term when I hear multiple different instruments coming in, making different repeated noises over and over? It sounds like a melody to me, but if I'm not, tell me.
Counter melody. Counterpoint.
What?
That's the term, counterpoint.
Counterpoint.
Just call it a jam, really.
Okay, fine. Multiple different jams in the first two parts, basically. The first part wasn't really interesting me that much, I'll be honest. It was very proggy. Prog bands, my sense that I've gotten from prog bands have been that they love to throw instruments all at the same time and have a whole bunch of things just jamming at the same time and see if it works, essentially. And some people love it. Noah's a huge fan. Some people withstand it, like Cole, and then some people, like me, just don't really find any sense in it. I don't really get it. That being said, the second part was beautiful. I mean, the singing was fantastic. I loved it. What's his name, the singer?
John Anderson.
John Anderson. His voice was awesome. Lyrics were clueless. No clue what the fuck he's talking about at all. I heard somebody say parts of it were about based upon a poem of Buddha, maybe. And then other people said don't even bother trying to understand his lyrics at all because he just writes to make it sound good. Well, okay. Vocally, he sounded beautiful. I loved the middle of this song. It was peaceful. It was tranquil. It had incredible build. And then the slow, soft, tranquil build up into that organ, which was peak. That was so fucking good. It sounded like it was recorded in a cathedral, and according to AT Field, it actually was recorded in a cathedral. So that is so cool. I don't know how they got permission to do that, but props to them for doing it because it added so much power to that organ. And then I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the drumming in this song because, oh my God, this drummer kicked ass. I mean, especially in the first half where he was just doing fill after just spamming drum hits into different little areas where he could quickly put them in to make it sound like it's all connecting together was awesome. And at the end where he's doing just little fills here and there. Big fan of the payoff here. Wow. If the first part was a little better, in my opinion, and a little more cohesively put together, it'd be a clear 10. So I'm gonna go 9.5. Noah.
I'm about to be a bad guy.
Oh boy.
I don't get into the song until about 2 minutes in. I feel like that's reasonable, though.
I agree. I didn't either.
The first 2 minutes are a little crazy. But once we get going, we're fucking rolling. We got some crazy guitar parts. Really good drumming. Drumming is probably my favorite thing about the song, besides like some of the really good melodies and hooks that they stick with.
Not the organ?
I mean, the organ part's great. Yeah, it's great. I was going to get to that eventually.
Okay, sorry.
Big fan of the hook, the melody. You know, that close to the edge, down by the river. Like, that's really good. I'm happy that that's like the melody that they kept choosing to bring back. Sounds great. Middle section's amazing as well. Really does a good job in letting John Anderson shine. And then Rick Wakeman gets his part to shine. And I think he's one of the greatest keyboardists ever. He was amazing. And of course, Chris Squire was fucking bouncing all over the place, doing all these crazy grooves, really whacked out tones for the time. I mean, this song's pretty revolutionary for the prog genre. I
get it.
I'm not giving it a 10 though.
No, I didn't.
This doesn't feel like a 10 to me.
Yeah, there's something missing in the first part.
I'll go 9.
You said you were going to be the hater, but you gave it a 9. I mean, I don't see how that's hating it at all.
Because it seems one of the greatest songs, period.
Oh, I didn't know it had that level of argument to it. Okay. All right, cool. The probably... Oh, you got a chuckle on your face. Oh, boy. We're about to get a take.
No, not really.
Oh.
I think it's a tremendous song. I think it's a great song. As far... Because, like, I don't really consider Pink Floyd to be super proggy. I mean, you know, Animals or The Wall is probably the most prog albums, and I do think Animals is the best prog album of all time. But this is like way more prog sounding than any Pink Floyd album, and as far as like straight up prog music goes, you know, it's basically like Yes and King Crimson for me. And this is one of the better prog songs that I think has ever been written. You know, I could say again how amazing all the, you know, instrumentals are and how great the performances are and just how insane it all is and how they're able to write all these different things together and make it sound cohesive. And you know, I'm incredibly picky about my prog rock because I think it's one of the most overrated genres of rock music
Ooh.
or subgenres of rock music.
Ooh.
Because so much of it sounds so fake and stupid and silly to me.
Firing the shots tonight.
Like Rush.
No.
we had
Fuck
some
Rush.
hardcore-
Hate
boy.
Rush.
Oh boy, you
Anyway,
are really dropping bombs.
this
Why are
is-
you talking about Rush? Get
This
out of
is
here with that
way
shit.
more what I feel like prog is supposed to sound like, because this feels so much more natural and the lyrics aren't unbelievably stupid and corny as hell.
Well, it also
Um,
didn't make sense though.
Well, I mean, just because they didn't make sense to you doesn't mean they don't make sense. But yeah, so much more about this felt way more natural and cohesive, and it felt like they had direction, and you know, it sounded like they knew what they were doing, and you know, to keep doing it. This was not even a sentence, but whatever.
Wanted
you know
to
what I
keep
mean.
doing it.
Yeah, it just feels, it just sounds way more real to me. I would probably give this song a 9 to a 9.5.
Here we go. All right, up next, and you and I.
Did you stop the jam?
I asked if you. Oh, I did.
Oh, maybe we paused too long.
That's not a thing. Oh,
Something
but,
happened.
yeah, the jam got fucked. You're right. Hold on. Restart this. My apologies.
Rush is the American ELP. You mean Canadian? But yeah, I can get it. I think they're both overrated.
Oh, Spocko, thank you for re-asking. I asked if you hadn't heard their song "Owner of a Lonely Highway." Yeah, no, I haven't. Anything outside of Roundabout, I have not heard.
You've probably heard Owner of a Lonely Heart before.
It maybe, but I didn't know it was
Basically a
that.
pop song.
The sound effects in that song annoy me.
All right,
It's
you're
not a bad
back,
song
right?
besides that.
You're all good, everyone. All right,
Yeah.
Up next, you and I. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sounds like some.
Guitar.
I was gonna say it sounds very Asia Japanese right now.
Hitting them
Floaty.
little harmonics.
Rush are a poor man's budgie. You guys named so many bands and songs I've never heard of.
I know Budgie. Just never gotten to hear it.
We have too many music
Pretty
nerds
sure,
in our
yeah. Why
chat.
did I use a Rush album?
There's so many music nerds in our stream. I feel so clueless when we're talking about prog rock bands and post rock bands. 'Cause I'm like, I've never even heard of some of these people. Ooh. See, this is like twangy, but it sounds great twang. It's
Honestly,
peaceful.
I didn't even go that hard into Rush. I really
You
didn't.
can go harder.
I can talk about their fans.
Okay, this guitar line almost sounds like Rush ripped it off in 2112. Not gonna lie.
I like it.
What?
This is a love song to Satan. Same Simon, you say everything is a love song to Satan. You're obsessed with the devil.
I'm pretty sure we've all heard the Who movie now. Quite a bit of the Who. Very familiar.
Yeah, great band.
I have heard all their discography with Keith Moon.
Mark, stay after the stream, or at least after the album, and Claire will give you a quick breakdown of why he despises Rush.
God, you said that like you were a
Never
teacher
listened
telling
to
a kid to
Lords.
stay after class.
Oh, they're so nice.
Alright, hold on. hold on, real quick. I gotta pause. Okay, chat. Cole will keep reading everything you guys try to make Rush sound.
Hey, I've heard this
arguments
before. I can read comments
I
if I want
understand,
to.
but if you want to argue with Cole about why Rush is better than Cole thinks it is, wait till we're done with the album. We have this song
Listen to
and
him,
one
Chad.
more.
Do what you want.
All right, continuing on.
Shut up,
Yeah,
Ryan.
I guess maybe we shouldn't turn this into a yap session.
Emotion revealed is the ocean made.
Fine, do what you want.
All complete in the sight of seeds of life with you.
It's a Beatles type melody right here. A little fat bass for the Beatles, though. Who is he talking about? Who's watching? Did I miss? I don't think I did. This came out in 1972.
Yep.
This, I fuck with this melody.
Rick Wakeman plays keyboard like he has 4 fucking arms. I'm hearing so many keyboards and organs.
Emotion revealed as the ocean made. As the movement regained, regarded both the same. All complete in the sight of seeds of life with you.
Wow. He sort of climbed on top of the instrumental with his vocals there. It's like he created. It's like his vocals got to that high peak right there, and then the instrumental followed that peak. It's like he created the segue to it. That was very cool. Will we ever do any Who albums? We'll get.
Probably.
Yeah. Yes. I can say yes.
I'll say it'll be hard for us to agree on which one we do. I'm pretty sure we all of us have a
Quadrophenia's
different
gotta
favorite
be
Who
the
album.
number one we start with.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
There's only 2 I would have any vested interest in doing.
And I know you're not thinking of the one that's my favorite, so fuck
Yeah,
you.
I'm not, because that one is not that good.
Tommy's awesome.
Tommy is mostly forgettable.
Picture nailed upon the corridor of time. Insane teacher, be there, remind
This
me
video is
of the
it's so weird.
rhyme.
I'm gonna get so much hate,
So
but it's
hold
gonna
on
have
one
nothing to
second.
do with the music that we're listening
Hold on one
to.
second.
We shall certify
You know what's really interesting? At least here.
political ends, our sad remains will die.
Every line he's starting on a low end and then ending on like he's ending the verse, but then restarts on the next line again. Restarts. It goes high up, restarts. There are not a lot of people who do that. Sorry, Cole, go ahead.
I was just saying that I'm gonna get like so much shit, and it's gonna have nothing to do with the music that we're listening to because I have given only positive scores on just musically so far. Still gonna give it 10 on this shit.
Oh, Rick screws up. Tommy the movie. I watched that once. It's something. I'll say it's something. It's pretty fucking crazy.
I don't love this keyboard right here. I do like the background instruments. Very Japanese aesthetic.
These are the parts I really dig, and they slow it down.
I've been in total agreement with that so far.
And you and I clear crossing the shapes of the morning. And you and I reach over the sun for the river. And you and I glide clearer towards the movement. And you and I gold over valleys of endless sea.
Here's where I start getting shit.
Oh boy.
I like this song more than Close to the Edge. Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh, big
Yep.
disagree.
When it comes to big moments, I think this song peaks higher. When they slow it down and let Rick Wakeman just carry it right in these fucking gorgeous melodies, that is like some peak Prog.
Peak Prog.
That is amazing. And then just the great 12-string guitar performance across the entire album. Or not entire album, entire song. It's great. I mean, some parts sound like Rush ripped off a little bit on 12112 with the 12-string. But that, I see to say that. It had nothing to do with the song. And John Anderson sounds great. But I mean, I don't know if he's ever had a bad vocal performance that I've heard. Yeah, when it comes to this song, I'm feeling a 9 to a 9.5.
9 to a 9.5. Cole, I feel like you want a rebuttal. You had some strong emotions.
He's just gonna say no.
I don't feel like this song is anywhere near as memorable. Like, not even close to as memorable as Close to the Edge. I don't think it hits, like, at all the same kind of peaks that Close to the Edge does. I think the lyrics are a lot weaker. I think that, the transitions aren't as cohesive. I don't think it's as well written. I mean, it's still pretty good, but I just feel like Close to the Edge is just, like, clearly and obviously not only a better song, but, like, a more important song. Not that has anything to do with the rating, really, but just, like, I would way rather listen to the title track than this. Not that this is a bad song, but it's just nowhere near as memorable to me, and it doesn't have anywhere near the same kind of peaks. I'll give this one a 7 to a 7.5.
7 to a
What?
7.5. Wow. A little
Holy.
lower than I thought he would go.
I'm not that big on the lyrics of this one.
Yeah, clearly. This is going to be an interesting one for me to rate here. I do agree. This is not as good as the first song. But the reasons I have for this not being as good is mainly because on the first song, there was a cataclysmic shift about midway through the song where they took out the entire melody and rhythms and jams that they had been going with for the entire first part of the song and just brought in this tranquil, peaceful, sound. And then this hard-hitting organ, which just developed the entire rest of the song. That's super hard to beat in something like this. This song was much more focused on the singer. From a vocal perspective, it was much more focused on the lyrics. I will say, I don't know if I necessarily agree with the lyrics being worse than the first song, just because it's clearly, I think someone said it themselves, it's clearly a love song. Now, this is one of the most uniquely written love songs, as it basically just talked about where he wants to take whoever and this woman and all these different places, and that wherever they go will be great, and blah blah, over valleys, over mountains, over whatever seas and stuff like that. It's a unique take on a love song. Definitely some great moments. I think there was about a 2 to 3 minute stretch in the 6-minute range where I think it was like part 3 where it just got into this really awesome sounding atmosphere they created with the bass and just the overall instrumental effects. Unique song, very not actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be a little bit mistaken here. There's been prog rock elements, no doubt, to most of these songs, but there really isn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel super proggy, at least compared.
Aggressively proggy.
Is it? Maybe I'm just so used to what people
Yes,
call
there's
Pink
more-
Floyd prog rock that this sounds less
Yes
prog
is-
rock to me.
Yes is way more prog than Pink Floyd, and they're even a little more.
So this is
prog
more
than King
prog
Crimson.
than Floyd is. And
Yes.
okay, well,
Oh, yeah.
then it's
Crimson.
super prog. Then
Yes,
okay.
I mean yes, and King Crimson
all I can
basically
say.
invented what the sound of prog is.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
at least what it was.
Okay, if that's the case, then that's the case. All I'll say is that whatever. If this is prog, then it is leaning heavily into this atmosphere of it, and it's the transitions through the jams are kind of a little flustering because you get into one melody for 2 minutes and they do a great job with that, and then they take it away and change it up to a whole different rhythm. And they try to keep the same vocals throughout it, but he does tend to overemphasize some of the lines all the time. Like he goes from here to here to here to here to here to here on every line, and it's like, and he sings that he holds the last part of each like line all the time, so it kind of takes away emphasis on some of the lyrics, if you can understand what I'm saying. Like when you hold at every bar, it's kind of hard to give emphasis on that last real one that you wanted to. That being said, all that, I'm gonna give this an 8.5. Siberian Khatru, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Does it really answer you?
Little
What?
A remix song of the Brat might have the same melody, Owner of a Lonely Heart. Now I need to go hear it. Listen to the bass, man.
Bass has been fired this whole album. Probably my biggest issue of prog. I guess they tend to do so many long songs. It's hard to remember the fucking songs.
I think from a reviewing standpoint, I agree.
Like, it's just hard, especially if it's your first time listening to it. Cole's
I
not
kind of
doing
almost-
something.
I just thinking of what you said. I'm like, I kind of just have a hard time falling into that. Yeah, because it's like, I mean, yeah, the songs are long, but I mean, it's 37 minutes of material. Like, I don't understand why that's more or less hard to understand than if it was 7 songs, so it's 37 minutes long.
Because if you stop it after 4 minutes, like a typical song, you can remember that 4 minutes, but you're not gonna remember.
But you're still just remembering audio. Audio is audio.
But it's the amount you intake without pausing.
It's the amount of time that's passed since you heard it.
I only have that issue when we're reviewing something, because I think my brain turns to fucking mush when it's time to talk about it.
Gotta write it down.
I might at some point start writing it down. We'll have to mute my fucking keyboard because it's one of those clicky clacky loud ones.
Oh, sorry I couldn't mute for that. These grooves have been phenomenal though. So lost with this lyrics.
Oh yeah. Electric sitar.
Wow.
Harpsichord, because why not?
That almost sounds like a really old piano.
Yeah, harpsichord.
Oh, that's banging.
Don't love the tell that.
Oh my god, the third seat.
How played an episode.
No problem, Rick, so have fun.
Get something good. Treat yourself.
Oh, man. That is a crazy guitar melody.
I'm gonna want to go first in a second on this.
I want Cole to go first. We just haven't gone first yet.
I think Cole's gonna want to have a rebuttal on what I said.
Alright.
That is such a great melody.
It is. What is so crazy about this song so far is how they have this bang melody that's going hard, and then they strip everything away instantly and go into this soft, peaceful vocal performance.
The parts are amazing. The heavier parts are great because it has a fantastic groove.
Well, will be no. Unfortunately, it does cost a little bit more than the price of buying me a coffee.
Yeah, 'cause you gotta split it between them three. Foxtrot by Genesis. Amazing album. Big fan.
I was a big fan of Genesis, right, Cole?
We're not getting into this. We're not getting into this. Because I fucking love Genesis.
This guitar work on this song has been fucking phenomenal.
I'm gonna play heavily into how I feel about it.
I might have the most controversial thing.
On the song, probably. As an album, I think I got it.
No, on this song.
Oh, Peter Gabriel Genesis, and it's not close. There you go.
Well, there we have it, fellas.
I also think this is better than Close to the Edge.
Woo, my God.
This is my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
It is 9 minutes action the whole time. There's no part of the song feels like a down point to me at all. I feel like the song's constantly happening, something constantly memorable. And of course, I think this has the best guitar performance on the album. And that's going to play a lot into how I feel about it.
Big guitar guy.
Big guitar guy is really what got me hardcore into music. Again, or, well, not again, but the grooves on the song.
Oh.
Best grooves on the album.
That's true.
The
I
song
100%
is
agree with
bouncing
that.
around. Fantastic drumming to go with it. Keyboards, Rick Wakeman is just fantastic on this entire album. John Anderson's good as well. I am feeling once more, 9 to a 9.5.
9 to a 9.5, but no 10.
No 10s.
Cole, Noah said you might want a rebuttal.
I mean, I would make the same rebuttal that I made when he said the same thing about the previous song being better, Close to the Edge. This is my second favorite song on this album, but I don't think it's better than Close to the Edge. I do think it's definitely more well written than the second song because it's just got better melodies and stuff and more memorable performances. The performances across this whole album are pretty friggin' crazy, and they managed to do it without sounding, like, ooh, look at how fast and technical and weird we can play. Isn't that awesome? It's like, no, but they actually write some, like, memorable stuff that you want to come back and listen to over and over again. And the choruses are really good, too, especially on that song. I thought the chorus was really, really good on that one. And yeah, I mean, it's a really good ending to a pretty I don't even know what I just said. Yeah, whatever I just said. A pretty damn good album. I'd probably give it an 8 to an 8.5.
8 to 8.5. So yeah, I guess I will not have the most controversial take on this song. I thought I would have, but Noah took that one from me. Yeah, I think this is definitely better than the second song. I do not agree with Noah about it being the best song, but it might be my favorite song. It was groovy as fuck, easily the grooviest song on the album. So easy to get into. I love just bopping along with that guitar. That rhythm on the guitar was the best on the song. Completely agree with Noah on that. The bass was fantastic. The only issue, honestly, I had on the song, it's going to be kind of a crazy thing to say, is that the drums, of all the drums on this whole album, were fantastic until this song where they just kind of weren't as poignant. They just didn't shine as much as they had on the rest of the album so far, which is kind of crazy because the drummer is just fantastic, clearly. Loved the vocals. I thought the vocals were the best on the whole album right here. This is where he shined. Lyrically, it was still just okay, nothing special, but the vocal performance on this song was the best on the album. Definitely the easiest to get into if you're going to listen to this album for the first time. I guess you should listen to it in order, but if you wanted to like get into it, I would say probably listen to this first, Close to the Edge, and then the third song. Or the second song at last would be the most interesting way to do it, in my opinion, because it's the easiest to develop yourself into. Big fan of this, though. I'm going to give it a 9. That was really good. Final rankings time. I think I should start giving this my first listen. So if you've never been here before, or if you're a brand new person to the channel, we rank our top 3 in order, and given that there's only 3 songs, it won't be too hard. We just got to figure out the order, and then we give the album a 1 to 10 ranking and our final thoughts on it. So for me, this is pretty simple. You can see my scores already. It's going to be at 3 and You and I, 2 Siberian Khatru, and 1 Close to the Edge. Overall, I had no idea what to think about this band or this album. I've heard one song by this band before my entire life, which I enjoyed quite a lot. So I thought I was hoping for a lot, and they delivered. I mean, Close to the Edge is an absolutely great song, damn near a masterpiece. So much talent and so many different sections to it where it's just beautiful to listen to. Outside the beginning of it, it is fantastic. The only downside to this was honestly the lyrics of the album were very uninspiring and uninteresting to read along to. Really could not have cared less for the lyrics. I thought the vocals got better as the album went on, and oh my lord, this drummer dude was so good. I mean, big props to King Crimson for luring him to their team, because my goodness, did he shine on this album. Also, huge shout out to the bass guitar. I don't know how the fuck they produced that, but that was fantastic. Big, in your face from the start of it, loud, and just like it never sounded dull. It always had a great rhythm for the most part, and there was so many beautiful transitions on this album. To give it a final ranking, I think the ranking is pretty easy. It's just a 9 out of 10. It's right down the middle of where the average of my 3 rankings right there. Noah.
All right. Before I do my top 3, I'm just gonna repreface. All really good songs.
Oh yeah.
At 3, Close to the Edge. 2, And You and I. 1, Siberian Khatru.
Wow, Close to the Edge at 3. That's crazy.
Front to the back, really good album. Tremendous all across the board. Only thing that doesn't do it a ton for me is most of the lyrics, because I just can't decipher them. I don't know if many people can, but I didn't even try on this listen through. I tried it my first time, didn't get anything.
Yeah.
But production wise, it's also shockingly good for how much they have going on at certain points.
That's a good point.
They did a pretty damn good job of that. In total, I am feeling a 9 to a 9.5.
Whew, 9 to a 9.5. All right, Cole. Big Eon, good lord.
Long day.
Right?
All right. Number 3, I'm gonna go And You and I. Number 2 is Siberian Khatru, and number 1 handily is Close to the Edge.
Cole, we agree.
That's gross. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, overall, I am definitely not what I would call a Prog fan at all, but I think this is definitely a step up from most Prog music, even most Prog music from this era. I think it's definitely a step up. I think this is one of the better Prog albums that came out during this time. I mean, yeah, the production is really good. The writing is memorable, unlike for a lot of Prog stuff. The performances are obviously pretty staggering. And it's a surprisingly catchy album, especially considering the song lengths and just how, bizarre the instrumentals can sound on like first listen or whatever.
completely agree.
Yeah, it's a fun album which is not something I typically say about progressive rock.
And
but
it's rather
it's
short.
fun. Yeah, it's not. It's only 37 minutes, so it's a pretty tight listen. Yeah, overall, I'm feeling an 8 to an 8.5.
All right. Well, there we have it. That was Close to the Edge by Yes, one of our paid album requests. Thank you so much to AT Field for it. We really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like down below and hit subscribe. Hit the bell to get notified when we go live. We do all these on live stream right now, and we've been growing the stream. It's been getting bigger and bigger each album, so we really appreciate those who come out. Also, go join our Discord. Links in the description of our videos and our live streams. You can follow us on Twitter as well, where we post out when we go live. We have tons of arguments, and you can go into whatever you want to talk about in your Discord and throw your craziest hot takes that you got. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next video.